This week's Nightfall for Glassway is the most rewarding GMs have ever been, with double loot, double rep, and the new adept linear fusion rifle Scintillation. But what is the best way to clear it? Here's the setup I have found the most success with. To start with, weirdly enough, Outbreak Perfected is the play here. Even better if you have a full fire team all running it. The combination of it being an anti-barrier option for both barrier champions and bypassing boss's shield, the fact that it's always overcharged to benefit from surges, and high enough DPS to delete both types of champions, as well as being kinetic for charging up both sides of a transcendence bar quickly, are all the reasons why. Ideally a crafted version with rewind rounds to heavily increase the mag size, but even the base version will be completely fine too. So that's barriers covered, the other champions present in the Glassway is overloads. Though here I did prefer to go with effect stunning options, rather than one of the featured weapon types of either hand cannons or swords. Using an indebted kindness with Volt Shot, a linear fusion rifle with chill clip, and bleak watchers for a slowing effect, between all of these, there is more than enough options for overload stunning while also not being loadout locked into using either double primary or a sword. So that's the weapons, what about the rest of the build? Prismatic Warlock made a lot of sense here. It works as an all-rounder having high damage options, crowd control options, and the most ridiculous damage resist I think I've ever seen in the Song of Flame super. And within that, here's what I have gone with. Bleak Watchers, as this is fantastic for overloads and crowd controlling choke points, especially useful in the boss room. And Feed the Void, as this one is fantastic for maintaining Devour, which gives survivability and ability regen. Fragments are all based around survivability, and building up transcendence as fast as possible. Solitude will activate quickly with Outbreak Perfected, and act as a huge damage debuff on targets marked. Again, especially useful against bosses and champions. Facet of Devotion is perfectly paired with Solitude, so each target defeated while severed will also grant bonus light transcendence energy. Facet of Grace will give even more bonus transcendence energy when defeating any target of Outbreak Perfected. Facet of Protection will give damage resistance when surrounded, giving it extra layer of protection in tricky situations. And finally, Facet of Purpose is there for restoration purposes upon picking up an Orb of Power. As for the strike itself, it's best to break it down into two parts, pre and during boss encounter. Pre is honestly very easy. In each of the rooms of champions or fallen mini-bosses, you should have either Transcendence or a super available. Just alternate between these and in the downtime spam Outbreak Perfected as a team, and you will have very little issues. Both Super and Transcendence are charged very quickly with sustained primary fire, so my best advice will be to just not hold on to these abilities for later, and instead use them as soon as possible, as they will be ready again when they are next needed. The only potentially tricky part of this section is just before the boss room. After draining the radial area, be very careful of the sniper vandals which perch on the left and right high grounds. These can be taken out of Outbreak, but you will likely be outside of effective range. Indebted Kindness can come in clutch here though, and take them out in only 2 shots if it's aimed well. The boss room itself is where teams might struggle, and for good reason. There's waves upon waves of champions and high threat enemies such as wyverns, and in these situations is where crowd control options as well as survivability is a must. The boss and accompanying Hydra are actually best dealt with exclusively with Outbreak, as this bypasses their shield and the damage will ramp up enough to phase either of them quite quickly. But more so, what this does mean is that any abilities, supers, special or heavy ammo could and probably should be used on the adds. Don't be afraid to pop super to take out a Hydra or a champion, as if any of these are left alive can easily cause a team wipe. And actually just a little bit more on the super Song of Flame. Whilst it is active, you are granted 90% damage resist, allowing you to play very aggressive. Use this when things get a bit spooky or if you need to clear the way in order to pick up a teammate. Spamming Incinerator Snap is the best way to maximise damage while in super, but alternating between this and Grenade will still work for multi-target ad clear effectively. You can also still use weapons while in the super, so stunning champions is still possible. For the entire boss encounter, I do still recommend camping the left side of a room, as this will create a choke point that most enemies will come through for easier AoE clear. But do be aware it's not impossible that a few enemies may enter from the left or right sides, which can pose quite a lot of danger. But it's only a few and they can be team shot easily if you're not too tunnel visioned into the middle lane. After dealing with a wave of ads and moving on to phasing the boss, try to split your team between entrances, so that only one person is under fire at any given point, allowing the other two teammates to deal damage while under no threat. As long as you play safe and focus on champions, there's honestly not much to fear in this strike, and with each clear you will be getting multiple ascendant shards, adept weapons, and upwards of 1000 vanguard rep when on a streak. The fire team composition, multiple of this setup will work just fine, but having one Orpheus rigged Tether Hunter will speed things up considerably. I will leave a dim link in the description for all armor mods and artifact mods used. Best of luck with your farms, and thank you for watching.